How did your significant other change you for the worse? My boyfriend's New Year's resolution was to stop going to the gym. He told me on the first day of the year. We cleaned up our apartment after the party we had hosted the night before. He elaborated by saying the gym was no longer fun for him. His body had started hurting unbearably after sessions. He also detested the numerous vain fakers who just wanted photos and videos for social media. This all surprised me, as going to the gym and keeping in shape had always been one of his biggest passions. He had never previously mentioned body pain or expressed any dislike for fellow gymgoers. It also disappointed me as he had a killer body which I did not want to go away. His body was one of the main reasons I started going out with him in the first place. His personality helped as well, but let's be honest, a relationship is doomed if the attraction factor goes out the window. We were both approaching our 30s and had been going out with each other for 3 years after meeting through mutual friends. If anything, I thought he should have been going to the gym more to make sure getting older did not negatively impact his attractiveness and to keep me hanging around. However, I did not want to start the new year off with an argument. I said I would support his sole resolution. I jogged and swam religiously to maintain my shape and he asked me if I planned on keeping up these activities. I said I did and he looked slightly disappointed. It was like he also wanted me to stop exercising and look after my own body. I suddenly felt very angry and worried about our relationship, but I just bit my lip and we continued cleaning the apartment. Once we had taken out all the trash, my boyfriend sat down on the couch and picked up his Xbox controller. I asked him what he thought he was doing as we were meant to be meeting friends for a hike in the forest. My boyfriend said he didn't particularly like these friends anymore and no longer liked the idea of going for a hike. I said these plans had been set for weeks and I asked him why he now disliked these friends. He shrugged and started shooting zombies on the screen. I ended up going on the hike with our friends. I told them about his resolution to stop going to the gym but refrained from mentioning his newfound dislike for their company. One friend said I needed to be careful because this could be a sign of him getting complacent and taking me for granted. Another friend speculated that he was depressed and advised me to go easy on him. The third friend said he would end up missing the gym too much and eventually go back. As I left, my friends headed back towards the apartment. I wondered which one of my friends, if any, would end up being right. Just so you have a better idea of our lives. I worked as an accountant in an office and he worked from home as a remote customer service agent. I got back from work one day a few weeks later and found my boyfriend splayed around the couch with the Xbox on again, several chocolate, candy, and chip wrappers spread around the couch, and brown and yellow crumbs scattered across his jacket. Now before I go any further, you must understand that my boyfriend could never previously have been accused of having a sweet tooth. He usually stuck to a very strict, healthy diet which a nutritionist friend of ours had put together for him. I had never seen him go on a trash food binge. He usually finished work an hour before I did and would have a healthy dinner cooked by the time I got home. He like a fat slob on the couch was not a sight that I expected or thought I would ever see. When I asked him what the hell he was doing, my boyfriend said he needed a new passion to replace the gym. He wanted that new passion to be enjoying the good things in life like trashy food. I started thinking he was playing some multi-week prank on me, but the look on his face told me he was being serious. I said I was worried about him and he told me to stop being dramatic. We were still getting on okay since he stopped going to the gym. His body was somehow holding up, but I just had a sinking feeling this would be the end of our relationship. Then things began getting very weird over the next few weeks. He stopped cooking and got fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every single day. Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's bags and boxes infested our apartment. Most of the delivery drivers knew him by his first name, and he even invited one of them in for a game of Xbox. As you can imagine, as he had added binge eating to his non-gym attendance, his ABS faded and his stomach extended outwards. I lost all my attraction for him, then repeatedly threatened to pack up and leave. We had vicious arguments every night. Sometimes he ate during the arguments and I would throw the food against the wall. He said if I could not love him for who he had become then I should just leave him. He said he was happier than ever and finally felt confident in his own body. Friends told me to leave him but I had invested 3 years of my life into that relationship and didn't want it all to be for nothing. I still love the kind, funny man he had been before this whole mess. I was scared I would never find that love again if I left him. He was my first serious relationship. As pathetic as that sounds for a 30-year-old, I didn't think anybody besides him would ever want me. I had started thinking my friend who claimed he was having a breakdown was right. I didn't want to abandon the man I loved when he was at rock bottom, even if he didn't realize that he was there. I needed to help him and decided the best way to start was to find out exactly what had caused this bodily breakdown as he had abandoned all our mutual friends. I met some of his friends whom I did not know very well at a cafe in town. A small part of me thought they might somehow be the reason. I wondered if they had a big argument or fallout. I bought them all coffee and asked if they had any idea what might have triggered him. They have been asking themselves the same question while wondering if I might have been the cause. We laughed briefly at our similar lines of thought before becoming saddened again by the reason for our meeting. My boyfriend's friends said they found it hard to be around him anymore. They said he was hard to look at, a depressing sight, and that they felt sick at the thought of what all that trash food was doing to his body. One friend, and this for me was the scariest moment of the whole saga, said he was eating himself into an early grave. I think I found that moment to be scariest because I knew what his friends said was true. His friends told me I should go to the gym and see if they knew anything. They thought something might have happened there. At first, the woman at the counter said she couldn't tell me anything about their members due to data protection laws. Then I explained the situation to her and she got the manager. The manager told me my boyfriend had just canceled his membership after going to gym nearly every day for a decade. The manager also said that towards the end of his membership, my boyfriend would spend long periods just staring into space and not using any equipment. Whenever a staff member asked him if he was okay, my boyfriend would say he had realized how unhappy he was and that he knew a much easier way of being happy. It turned out that Wei had been ceasing exercise and recklessly eating. I went home, no nearer to finding the reason for my boyfriend's change of behavior. My boyfriend said we needed to have a serious talk and brought me into the kitchen where a half-eaten Domino's pizza sat on the table. A piece of pepperoni fell off his shirt. He said my hatred of his lifestyle was toxic for his own mental health and our overall relationship. He said I either needed to accept he had changed or else break up with him. I asked him if he was having a breakdown and he said no. He said he was having a glow up and living his best life. He pushed the pizza box across the table and invited me to join him. He said life was too short to not indulge and enjoy ourselves. In the back of my head, I was thinking about how much I loved him and did not want to lose him and how scared I was of never finding anybody else. Then I started thinking a little more about what exactly my boyfriend was saying. Maybe he was right. Maybe life was too short. Who cared what other people thought? A life of delicious food, zero stress about health or body shape, and a happy relationship suddenly seemed like a very appealing way to live. I tucked into a slice of Domino's pizza and a wide smile formed on my boyfriend's face. We went upstairs after finishing the pizza. I don't know what changed in me at that moment, but somehow what he said, it clicked. Why do we set ourselves to these societal norms that everyone has for each other when enjoyment is what we should be getting out of our lives? The point of my sharing this story is not to encourage people to not take care of themselves, but to say that if doing that doesn't give you enjoyment, then why continue to do it when we have so little in this world? While we have gotten a little chubbier as a couple over time, my love for him could never be better. That new attitude in life may have made us more unhealthy, but also pushed us to find hobbies that we have always wanted to try and give a shot. Some are even exercise based. We have a good life, and that is all that matters to me.